We're live.
We are live for our mastermind, Mr. Ridgely.
Indeed, indeed, on a Friday afternoon, end of July. So
That's
we're
excellent.
rolling into hurricane season around here, man. People are getting all like, what? All right.
Oh boy.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
you're a hurricane pro.
Something like that. When you lose a house or two, you know.
Oh boy.
So I've lost a house and a third so far in hurricanes.
A
The
house and a
third got
third.
put back together, but the other one didn't.
Ah, okay, there you go. Oh boy. I feel for you, brother. All right, so I know we have a couple of people that want to jump on hot seats, but originally we do have to discuss this with the membership because we I know for a fact that we have some members that have local businesses. Okay.
Mhm.
As you and I were discussing earlier today, there's a Google Maps hack that competitors are doing that people have to watch out for.
Yeah,
Okay.
please
And
break it down.
yeah, and so we luckily have on staff, Andrew Dale, who's a big pro at this, and he dealt with this for us back in May when he first started seeing it happen. Let me describe it to you, and then you can add any color and kind of caution about the possible fix. Okay, so here's the scenario. So some of you out there rely a lot on your Google Business profile to drive telephone calls to your business. Okay, maybe you're a local carpet cleaner or a doctor or whatever, and you get a monthly report. You can also tell it just because your phone doesn't ring as often, but in your monthly report from Google Business Profile, you'll see that the number of calls from your profile have dropped off. Right, that's a tracking metric that Google provides you. If you do see that or sense that, what you need to do is not go right away into your admin panel of your Google Business Profile, but to have just a search done and find yourself on the maps listing and see where your pin is on the map. Because what's happening is that competitors, and actually the shocking part about this is that anybody can do this. When you Google a business and you see that pin location, you'll see this little text link that says suggest an edit. And when you click, you can tell Google, hey, this pin's not in the right place. Well, originally, as we discovered, nasty competitors doing, the dirty deeds, they're going and suggesting edits on competitors' map pin locations. So this happened to our client. Now, here's the tricky part of fixing it. Okay? The fix is not to right away go into your business profile admin and change it back yourself. The reason is because when Google sees that, and it might take a try or two, and you're fiddling around, it sees that some monkey business is going on, and it can lock your account and give you a suspension. So to add insult to injury, some clients have reported that in trying to fix it, they get locked out and lose their editing privileges to their own Google Maps listing, okay, which is horrible. The fix is to have don't log in as admin, but either you or yourself, or better yet, if you know a local guide, a Google local guide, that's a designation that Google gives to somebody who leaves a lot of reviews. They have more juice when they click on suggest and edit. Regardless, the fix is to go and suggest an edit and suggest it back to where it rightly is. Now, this is a known problem. Hopefully, Google will fix this, in the future. Anything to add to that, Richly?
Well, to give a sense of a little bit of how important this is, here are some recent stats that just came out. Why your Google Business Profile is a game changer. 49% of GBP listings, 1,000 views a month. 50% more purchases likely for business that have complete listings. That means that your Google Business Profile is fully built out. 28% of local searches are resulting in a purchase if it's built out. 50% of users who conduct a local search are visiting a store within 24 hours. That's half, folks. That's a lot. Even more, 60% of consumers are using the GBP to find contact details of the local business. So how important is it to get that right? And literally 56% of searches on GBP are resulting in a phone call. These are huge numbers. So to get this right, that's why we wanted to bring it to you as members of the mastermind and guests um, right away so that you know this, so that you pay close attention. So my objective when showing those numbers was to get everybody to say, wow, I really need to check my GBP. In fact, not only do you need to check your GBP, you need to make it part of your regular process to check your GBP once a week. It takes a minute, that's all, 2 minutes or so to make sure that nobody is hijacking your location. Literally, they can hijack your location and completely mess it up. As you said, Hubie, hopefully they'll be fixing this at some point in the near term. But right now, this is no joke and something really, really important to pay attention to.
Yes, especially if you saw that last figure, 56% of your phone call traffic is from the listing. And of course, this is particularly more important if you have the physical business, that you rely on traffic from. Just a quick word on that. The message we're getting over and over again from Andrew Dale, our SEO expert, is Google likes it when you fill out your Google business profile as completely as possible. Okay, so even if you're not a local business, you're a coach or doing something virtual, it will help your overall SEO if you go in there and fill out all the categories, your hours of business, your location details. Just try to complete the profile as completely as possible.
Awesome. So I wanted to, I've had some calls recently, Hubert, that indicated to me that we have to remind people of the fundamentals of using AI. And because what's happened is I've had some calls with people who are using AI and not getting the kind of results that they want because they don't know exactly how to work the fundamentals. So I wanted to take a couple minutes before we bring up a couple of guests for our hot seats to just talk about these fundamentals. So, and remind everybody that for a different task, you might have different instructions. Obviously, that makes sense, but a lot of people are just jumping into ChatGPT or Bard or whatever and saying, give me this, without setting it up in a way that AI can give you the best possible output. So, for example, I was working with one of our clients yesterday who was trying to take a transcript of a webinar and convert that into a white paper, right? So you'd think, okay, that seems like a relatively straightforward thing to do, but you can't overlook the fundamentals of doing that. The fundamentals are, so first of all, let me just hop into ChatGPT here for a second. One of the ways, obviously, you can do anything is by starting out with Prompt Creator, our incredible prompt, and having AI ask you the questions that it needs answered in order to get a great prompt.
Yes.
So,
Now, Rachel, just stop here for a second because you're not one to toot your own horn, but so I'll do it for you. Just take 30 seconds to let the good folks know the incredible company that you found yourself in the other day when you were asked to, share your knowledge of your prompt creator and your approach. I mean, we're talking about some heavy hitters wanting to know what Rich Lee's up to.
yeah, that was pretty fun. I was a speaker on the AI Business Summit. There were 450 people on the line when I hopped on. I was two people after Mike Filsame, two people before Rich Sheffrin. So we're talking about some of the biggest players in the industry doing exactly what I'm about to show you. So my charge was to create a business from scratch in approximately 12 minutes. A business that I knew nothing about. Now, the only way you can do that is by getting AI to query you until AI feels like it knows enough or computes that it knows enough to answer your questions. So I chose to create a business called Paws and Tails. Why? Because A, I don't know anything about the pet care industry. I don't even have a pet. Okay. So, as much as I like other people's pets and hanging out with other people's pets, that's great. But I don't know nothing about pets. So, I'm starting in an industry that I know nothing about and using Prompt Creator. It started out really simple. You're a consultant for business with deep expertise in the pet care industry. You've been tasked by a new business called Paws and Tails to create marketing assets, an executive summary, email campaigns, a sales page, and other tools to launch the business. Now, some of you have seen me do stuff like this, but this is in front of 450 people online all over the world. And notice, look at how fast the prompt creator begins to revise the prompt. The deliverables include marketing assets, executive da. What are the suggestions? What are the questions? And I got a rating of a 7 out of the gate. So what do? I answer the questions and we revise the prompt again, bringing it to an 8. And then what do I do again? Answer the questions and revise the prompt again and bring it up to a 9. As you can see, I'm not even letting AI run the prompt until AI tells me that it knows enough to give me what I need. So I do it again, one more time, revise the prompt again. And from an initial prompt that said, if we go back to the beginning, you're a consultant, blah, 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 task these things, 4 little lines, half of 4 lines, to now having a prompt that is fully fleshed out at a 9.5. And now the prompt turned from 4 lines into a page and a half. And of course, when you start to run that, you run the executive summary, and there it is: executive summary, business overview, mission statement, vision statement, unique selling points, market analysis, growth strategy, financial projections. Great. I said, okay, now let's not worry about the executive summary. I did make some adjustments to that. I said, okay, now let's create a 5-page website. Homepage, about us page, services, testimonials, contact us, suggestions, visual appeal, user experience, SEO, mobile responsiveness, etc. Great. Now give me limbic messages. We believes, you deserves, because we picture a world where. Great. Tell me which ones rank more highly in creating connection and trust. There they are, all ranked. Great. Tell me where these messages should go on the website and why. Great, here they are, selected limbic messages, rationale behind the limbic message, etc. About us, every single page, all broken down. Said, okay, terrific. Now give me a 5-part email series to promote the pet care services for the business. Email 1, building trust and connection, why your pet deserves the best, meet Paws and Tails. Email 2, highlighting expertise and passion. Email 3, introducing a special promotion. Email 4, creating urgency. Email 5, call to action, final call to action, etc. Then I said, okay, now give me a 1-minute video script for the homepage that builds trust and connection. Soft, uplifting music in the background, a warm, inviting visual of Paws and Tails, friendly staff members smiling and interacting with pets. I said, oh, that's interesting. How about you give me one that's funny with lots of emojis? All right, give me one with lots of emojis. Here we go, etc. And then I said, now give me a version that is completely irreverent, hilarious, and written like a rap song by someone like Eminem. And it comes out like this. Yo, 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 welcome to Paws and Tails, where pets get treated like kings without any fails. We got 30 years rocking the pet care game. With love and care, ain't nothing gonna be the same. From baths to vets to a comfy stay, your pet's gonna love it in every way. We got grooming, vet checks, a place to chill. Your pet's gonna leave with a smile so real. Paws and Tails, it's a place to be for happy pets and owners. Can't you see? We got a vibe that's fun and fly. Your pet's gonna be like, oh my, right? And so on. And ended the session on Tuesday with the hosts clapping and saying flat out that was the single best ending of any presentation we've ever had at any summit, right?
That's great.
Because of using the tool. Now, I want to point something out for those that may be relatively new. Let's go and create a brand new space. What are the fundamentals that you must do to get a great output? You must tell AI what role is it playing. What is the role? Is it that AI is a marketing consultant? Is it a copywriter, a direct response person, a researcher, a consultant? Tell them what is the role. You are this. So we can say, you are a master chef with a focus on American cuisine. Now, what do we need next? Specifics. We have to be specifics in the request. You are tasked with coming up with 5 different versions of delicious chicken wings. Now, notice you don't have to watch out for your spelling. It doesn't really matter. Now, if all I do is stop there, I'm going to get some versions. But what if I wanted real specificity? You will be feeding 12 people who are athletes. You will also need accompaniments to the wings. Draft a complete menu for a Saturday afternoon party and suggest 3 beverages that will go well with the menu. Notice the difference in specificity here. Obviously, when I'm specific about what I want, the output is going to be a lot greater. So now I've got the classic buffalo wings, honey garlic wings, Cajun spiced wings, teriyaki wings, and barbecue bourbon wings. Accompaniments. Now I've got loaded potato skins, veggie platter with hummus, mac and cheese, cornbread muffins, mixed green salad, beverages, sparkling lemonade, iced tea, and cucumber mint water, and I can build from there. So if you're, for example, taking that back to the example of the webinar, taking a webinar, converting it into a white paper, it's not enough to say, take this transcript and convert it into a white paper. It's take this transcript. You are an expert in whatever the topic of the webinar is. You've been charged with drafting a 2,000-word paper that is broken down into categories and subcategories for ease of reference, period. Include 5 different deliverables that someone is going to get from consuming this information and suggestions as to how they can implement those deliverables at their shop. Make it in the tone, give it the tone, right? Say, make it persuasive yet informal, casual, and write it as if you're speaking to the person that's reading in the second party so that it feels personal. Then hit the prompt, right? Very different than convert this into a white paper. So I just want to really remind people of that, because in the last week or so, maybe 2 weeks, I've had 2 or 3 people just write very short, lame prompts that are going to get you a lame output. You really have to talk about who is the role that AI is performing, what do you want, and the more specifics you can give, the better. Hubert, any comments from you on that?
Yes, sir. And the main thing to keep in mind is use that as a start and then ask it to change it to your further specifications that you didn't think of when you first started. Okay? This is a discourse. This is like, you join a mastermind because you want to hear the opinions of others. When you do an AI session, work with it, see what comes back. And now I'm going to address something that came up in the chat. And speaking of the chat, let's just catch up for a minute, Richly, on the chat. So we got a kind note, greetings from Kurt over in Johannesburg. He consistently is always being the most farthest distance from us on these calls, so it's very impressive. So howdy, Kurt. He can't interact in the chat today, but he just wanted to give a shout out at the beginning. So appreciate you, Kurt. Thank you so much. And hi to Zarina and Bridget. Awesome to see you guys. Scott Brown, we got your question answered about how important GBP is, even if you're not a local business. Yes, that's correct. It really does help your rankings, and it's important to put your content on there and point it to your website. Okay. Let's see. Here's a great question here that leads to my question that I'm addressing. So Jeremy asks, how do we know that the AI generated ratings are reliable? So folks, in Ridgely's prompt, he asked it to rank the prompt as it's being developed by asking Ridgely questions. Okay. If when we engineered that prompt, we asked it to give feedback, but we also asked it to give questions as to how to make it better. So one of my favorite tricks is you can go ahead and ask AI in your prompt to tell you how it's thinking about it, right? So my favorite thing is, provide all of this and this and this and this, but also tell me why you did so. So in Ridgely's example, if you asked about the recipes and there was a sports team involved, you can add, please include your rationale as to why it's important to the performance of the team. It will come back with the same stuff, and then it will tell you this is particularly important because caloric intake, blah blah blah, whatever, protein ratios, whatever. And you, as the subject matter expert of the query, you would be able to tell if it's on track or not, right? And so, originally, I just wanted to give that little bit of advice too. I'm going to look in the rest of the comments here and then pass it back to you. Jim, our friend Jim. Jim, hope you're well. Long time no speak. Hope everything's great. Matt says to you originally, I see a cool rap career with the red glasses. There you go. Yes, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Jeremy came back and said, incredible, what's possible. Let's see. Bridget weighed in, was watching a documentary last night on a chef that traveled with the New Zealand team for the Tour de France. It was very interesting how much food they eat and how and what it takes to make it nutritious so that they can perform at their peak performance. I have a similar story. I have a client, multi-year client, and occasionally they throw conferences, and I go and I help. I do photography and videography, and I bring my wife, and we both do it. We tend to schedule a day afterwards to kind of relax on menu. Everybody's gone, and we're just kind of relaxing. And one day we were there, and the hotel next door had a Ruth Chris steakhouse kind of a place, and they had a special. So we went in there. We were eating at the bar. We love eating at the bar, sitting at the bar. This lady sat down next to us and started chatting, blah, blah, blah. She asked me what I did, blah, 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 marketing, blah, 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 whatever. We asked what she did. She's the chef. She's a traveling chef, the executive chef for the WWE, which we noticed that they were in town, all these hulking wrestlers around. And we asked her, oh, you're the chef. That's a high pressure job, right? For these guys. She says, you wouldn't believe how much they eat, and you wouldn't believe how impactful on the performances and the physiques of these guys is what she feeds them. So just to close that loop there, it's a big thing, Bridget. Okay, 2 more minutes. Dorina, hey, Dorina, nice to see you. They need Ridgely to come along with Tour de France. Larry's asking, join the webinar late. Will there be a replay? Well, since you asked, I will make sure that the full list gets a replay. Santu says, what free AI software would you recommend? Okay, so generally speaking, he's asking for video editing too. I don't use AI specifically for video editing. I'm considering a bunch of automated AI tools that will take a longer clip and automatically chop them up into smaller bits that you can post on social media and blog posts and so forth, and do it in an AI assisted way. There's a couple of tools that I'm checking out, and I'm checking them out not by going directly to the tool, but by looking at the specials on appsumo.com. If you're not familiar with that, it's sumo, SUMO.com. Go ahead and take a look, and software companies to kind of it's kind of like a Kickstarter kind of a thing, but for ongoing concerns. And they use it to kind of raise money, and they offer these incredible deals. I know several people really love using it from our group here. Anyway, check out appsumo.com. Okay, Dr. Jean, beware, AppSumo is addictive. Use with your own risk. Yes, and Santu is familiar with AppSumo, so check it out there. So that's great. Okay, now Jeremy is asking about perplexity.ai. Okay, in the last couple of calls that we've had, I've gotten Ridgely to start using it. It's incredible. It's an answer engine powered by AI as opposed to a search engine. You search in Google, it gives you a list of things for you to sort through. If you search in perplexity.ai and ask it a question, it goes and does a search, complete with all the citations so that you can check it out yourself. But then it uses AI to synthesize a full answer and provides an answer to your question. So it's free. He's asking if the $20 a month is worth it to keep paying that for ChatGPT 4.0. I would, ChatGPT Plus is worth paying for. So let me just back up for a quick second, and I know I'm starting to ramble, so I'll reel it in. The free level of ChatGPT Plus now includes, I believe, 4.0. Maybe if not 4.0, it definitely includes 4. Is it worth paying the $20 a month to get the Chat Plus? I believe so, because we love, and Ridgely has been going nuts, creating these custom chatbots, right? These custom GPTs, where you can feed it information on a subject, and it's got its own, incredible interface for you to very easily make it. So I feel it's definitely still worth it. More chats are coming in. Thanks, folks. I love you guys in the chat here. Ridgely weighs in and says Opus Pro is great for video editing. And Bridget says, I've been using Perplexity for over a year and I don't pay anything for it. And I do invest in ChatGPT, definitely worth it. Thanks everybody for this active chat.
Let me also, I want to point something out. I want to show you guys something that Alex Hormozi created. And just to kind of fry our brain as to what's possible, because imagine now you'll be able to do this with AI. This is video interactive learning. And I want to show
you. Just to modify what Ridgely's saying. You can use AI to help you write the scripts for this, but the technology behind what Ridgely is about to show you is not necessarily powered by AI. There are tools that do, the concept is called interactive videos.
Yeah, take a look at this.
Welcome to Developing Your Retail Managers to Lead. I'm glad you're here. This course addresses the responsibilities and unique challenges of leading people in a retail store. The soft skills of leading an unmotivated team, effective communication, how to make a good decision, and when to know when I was my own biggest hurdle in my own path. Now, sometimes you get promoted to a manager because you're an exceptional.
A little further because I want you to see what happens.
So which are you?
Now he stops. This will not go any further until I click on one of these buttons. This is super cool stuff. I don't know if anybody's seen this kind of stuff before. I want to show you one other example that I like even better. It's more fun. So we'll take a look at one more example of this. If you can sort of start thinking, if you're a course creator, what if you had something like this?
Welcome to the free transformation program. Really quick so I can match you with the right program for you. Are you a man or a woman?
We're going to be a woman today.
She's a lady. Whoa, whoa. All right, I'll stop. So you are a woman. Awesome. Actually, the majority of the people who do this program are females, and so you are in luck. And so we have a lot of experience with this. So I need to drill down a little bit closer to figure out what your goal is and where you're at right now. So
don't click right away. Do not click right away.
You. One, are you skinny and you're trying to gain muscle? Lean muscle, not bulky like me, don't worry. 2, are you a little softer, right? A little extra squish that's come through that you're just trying to tone up, right? Kind of get rid of the stubborn areas, right? In the back of the arms, stomach, thighs, etc. Or 3, are you just focused on losing weight right now over 20 pounds? So if you're trying to lose over 20 pounds, that would be the 3rd category. So which of those 3 best describes you? All right, just click the button below. So
I didn't want you to click
muscle,
because
kind of softer, trying to tone
up,
let it run, or just trying to focus on losing weight right now.
The master tip here is
worry, I will not
he's providing a lot of interaction
answers with anyone,
even before you act. Meaning, this is your chance to kind of like impress your own personality on someone, right? So it doesn't simply end here. He's waiting and trying to like engage you before you click.
All right, just click the button below. So you're a woman and you're trying to lose weight. Great news. You actually sit in the largest majority of the people who sign up for this specific program.
Anyway, you guys can see this. This is great stuff. It makes it super interesting. But now I want you to imagine taking it to another level. And Federico is on the line here with us. He's an award-winning filmmaker, and he and I are about to embark on a ridiculous program that we're going to build together using this interactive video technology. But imagine every time he says something, something pops on the screen, pop on the screen, pop, 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 pop. It's like full-on sensory, almost overload, and then stops and gives you a question. Choose A or B or C. And depending on which one they choose, it goes to another video that is catered to that answer and does it again, etc. So you are crafting the experience for the viewer as you're going through this. We're using AI tools to write these scripts. Now, as Hubert mentioned, you can't actually do that. You can't actually make, AI doesn't actually do the whole thing for you. There is some real editing and cutting and etc. But the difference and increase in consumption on a program like that is 66% higher than just watching a video. 66%. I hope everybody caught that. Imagine using this for an upsell. Imagine using it for your funnel, whatever it may be. It is crazy. And to Bill's question, if it's done correctly, right? What happens if you don't click anything? What happens is if the person is smart, they're going to do something like this. Hey, are you clicking? What's going on? I said, you're still thinking about it. I know you're still thinking about it, but you know what? Don't overthink this thing. Just click the button. Yeah, because there's more behind this. You don't know what's back there. If you don't click the button, you'll never find out. Come on now. I know you can do it. Click the button. That person can keep going for a full-on minute if they want to until somebody clicks the button. Very, very powerful for engagement.
And just for completeness, Dorina is right too. Whatever you filmed, when that runs to the end, it sits there and waits for you. Now, one thing just to modify what Ridgely is saying, and this is just a heads up. I know Ridgely and Federico know this already, but I just want to mention this technology with the buttons is an overlay on the video. So Ridgely said having the video pop this and that and this and that. Once you start getting into the interactive overlay layer, you need a clean screen because otherwise it's illegible because you have these overlays over stuff that you're popping. So yeah, you can go crazy, but when you get to this point, you have to back off so that the overlay is legible.
All right, we are going to build, we're going to bring on Ray. Ray has asked us for a hot seat because he has built a website. Now, I purposely did not take a look at it, Hubert, as we normally do. There we go. Hey, Ray, welcome, welcome.
Good to see you guys. And I did catch your presentation on the summit the other day, so that was really cool to watch you do the wrap at the end. So thanks.
I'm glad you caught that. That was pretty fun, actually. It's not that easy to impress Pamela. Okay, just saying. Pam is Bob, he's a little more friendly, whatever. Pam takes a little bit to impress her. So the fact that she started clapping was a nice thing for me. So I understand that this must be the person you built this website for.
Yes, it is. This is Susanna Freeman, and she's the owner of an acupuncture clinic in Chinese medicine who is moving to, from a brick and mortar to an online space, and that's what the website's for.
Fantastic. Hi, Susanna. So tell me again the website URL, please.
It's guidetowellness.com.
Guidetowellness.com. By the way, that's an excellent URL. I like that quite a bit. Hubert and I are quite fans of trying to find great URLs, so that's a good one. I'm going to pull that up here in 1 second. I have not ever seen this website on purpose, nor has Hubert. So we wanted to go in there with fresh eyes. But I always do this. We're okay with whatever comments. Anything is fair game. We're good. Our skin is enough, or at least we know we're among people that love each other and support each other. We're good. Okay, awesome. I actually think it's going to be good. So let's just take a look here. All right, we're going there right now. All right.
Okay, so instant points for doing the limbic messaging. That's awesome. Limbic messaging is the we believe. So before we jump in, Ridgely, can you just, for everybody, because we have a larger group invited today, can you just give us the 30-second definition of what limbic messaging is?
Yeah, so when we think about how brain biology works and how decisions are made, including the decision to do something in your favor, buy your product, join your tribe, sign up for a newsletter, whatever it may be, decisions are made in the emotional or limbic space, what we call the feeling or heart space, and then justified in the logical brain space, always in that order. We make decisions based on feelings, we justify them based on logic. So if we can speak to the limbic brain, the decision-making part of the brain, obviously you're going to get a lot more decisions made in your favor. How do you do that? Because there's a problem. The problem is that the limbic feeling brain understands and is all about feelings. The logical thinking brain is all about words and thoughts and processes and doesn't understand feelings. Well, wait a second. If I've got to speak using words, how am I going to get to the feelings? Well, the way we do it is in language that is largely invitational. It is an invitation into a belief. We believe your body should function as it was meant to, right? If you agree with that statement, you'll find yourself nodding your head. We're going to talk about how to tweak it in just a second. Because your health matters. That's right. My health does matter. You deserve to feel healthy all the time. That's right. I do deserve to feel healthy all the time. It's an invitation into a belief. And when you create that, you're much more likely to get decisions made in your favor. Okay. So I'm going to comment on the words. I'm going to get Hubert to comment on the experience. And you're going to see how goofy we can be when it comes to being nitpicky about stuff. In AI, my one absolute pet peeve, do not ever want to see it word to the point where I build it into my prompts, is ensure. We ensure that this, we ensure that that, because it flags the content as being written by AI. So anytime I see the word ensure, it's like, I'm going to cut it out. In limbic messaging or other types of messaging, there are a couple of words that we want to try to avoid. One of them is should. Should is a word that doesn't help. You should have done this, you should have done that, you should have done the other thing. After a while, you should all over yourself, and it's just not really, it just not, should is not a word that works. So how could we say the same thing without the word should? We believe your body should function as it was meant to be. What could we do? How could we change that? What do you think, Ray?
I would say can.
Yeah.
Change
Sure.
should to can.
Easy. We believe your body can function as it was meant to.
Nice. It feels better.
Right? Cool. Guiding you to well-being with functional traditional Chinese medicine. Hubert, on the images, etc., what are you seeing?
Well, so before I go to the images, I love your coaching originally about, the can and not should. Generally speaking, my sense is these headlines are a touch long. So some editing and making both the subhead and the main headline shorter would be a little more impactful, right? So remember, we're going for limbic emotional response. The length of it makes you dwell more with your neocortex instead of your limbic brain. The other thing about limbic messaging is that because it's emotional messaging we're trying to do here, the photo is very important. Okay, this is lovely. It's very serene. It's very peaceful. For maximum emotion, having a photo of a person would be much more emotional, right? And so studies show that a picture of a woman emotionally moves both men and women more than a picture of a man, right? So you identify your target audience. It's probably an older female. So have that picture there, and it's her stretching or something. But anyway, having that human element right away would be, I believe, provide a better lift than having the rocks.
Yeah, and let me just for fun, because this is the mastermind and we're having a good time. Let me point out a couple of things. Right now, we have two piles of rocks, and the pile on the right is higher than the pile on the left. But our eyes travel from left to right. So normally we would want to reverse those two piles. If we were going to keep those rocks, we'd want to reverse them. Additionally, they're creating a reverse triangle down to the buttons of meet your guide and make an appointment. But they're guiding you away from the buttons because they're going upwards with the eyes, right? Is that tracking? So, so this is, yes, I think putting up obviously a person up there would be great, but just to show you how nitpicky we can be, if we need to be, we want to really bear in mind the user experience is so critical. And the user experience is guided by what you put there. I love, by the way, love the simplicity of this.
Wait, Rich, before you scroll down, okay, just wrap up your thought, but before you move on, I want to make a couple of points more.
Okay. So I just want to say how much I really enjoy. It feels, the one thing that I get, the feeling that I do get is a breath of fresh air. It's not too complicated, not too many fonts, not too many calls to action, not a million things on there. I love that. So, Hubert.
And I want to second that, by the way. So you're well within, you know, the tweaks that we're giving you are tweaks, right? It's not like, oh my God, you're at 35%. We need to get you up to 80%.
Yep.
You know, you guys are at 90%. We can give you, get you to 95%. Okay. So, originally, I want to make a couple of points. If in a new tab, if you can go to Bridget's masterpiece of avatarmarketing.com, I just want to point out that nature photos can work very well. And so on the homepage, you'll see a limbic messaging here with, you know, the ocean. And note how the shorter lengths of the sentences are more impactful. We believe in your big idea, right? It's just easier to kind of absorb. Now, originally, go to services and click the first link or something. I think that brings up like our locate. Yeah, that first one. So now here right away, it's now people, right? We believe in persistence and crossing the finish line. Now, back to what I was saying, and originally you can click some of the other navigation items, but you'll see it goes back and forth between it'll have nature type of things, and then if you click another one, it'll have like, you know, a person, right? And so the people ones are much more, to me, emotional. Okay. Now, originally, go back to their site. Now, I just want to talk about the concept of user experience. Okay, user experience is how is successfully crafting the experience that you want the user to have. We develop a concept that's even further, more extreme, and we call it the guided user experience, where you tell people what to do. Okay, so it's awesome that you have these buttons here, meet your guide and make an appointment. The problem, though, is that these buttons are here too soon, and I'll tell you why. Because when you click the button, it actually, originally click the yellow button, and you'll see that it actually goes off to a different page. Now, originally click your back button in your browser, and if click the make an appointment, and you'll see that that one also goes to another page. Now, that's fine and that's cool, but go back, hit the back button. I would suggest that these two buttons, you can use them the same way they are. You don't introduce it right away. You have people start scrolling down the page. Now, Richard, you start scrolling. And then as you go down the page and just keep scrolling, find the appropriate spots after they consume a little bit of your content to then go and make an appointment or meet the guide, you know, that kind of a thing. So you can spread that all out. And this is just because it's a special case because it's the homepage. Okay, Bridget, now you can go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. One more other thing too. Bridget is weighing in, and let me just acknowledge. So Bridget said this, my creative director comments are, Bridget, can you scroll to the top of the third page? The gold line at the top underneath the menu and logo is not needed. It's more distracting rather than brand building. Okay, you see how it's kind of breaking up the eye flow there, that gold. The white line that is created below the line and above the photo traps our eyes as we try to quickly scan the page. There's an interior page that doesn't quite have the white line, but it does create a weird edge. Okay, so she's going further on as well. The idea of a great website is to easily navigate to the info we're looking for. Anything that gets in the way should be eliminated. Simplicity is key. So I agree with that. Thank you, Bridget. All right, Bridget.
I'm going to bring Bridget up here to talk with us also. 1 second. I'm going to pull Bridget in, and we'll go back to the site in a second and some more. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look. So again, I like the simplicity. I like the TTT, very clever. I like this limbic message, strong. We believe traditional Chinese medicine is the original functional medicine. I'm not sure you need the word traditional, just to make it a little tighter if you wanted to.
Also, go back to that headline here, because this is a kind of a neo a non-limbic kind of a thing, simply putting "we believe" in front of it doesn't kind of like short circuit the neocortex. Originally here, I think you should just make the claim, just say traditional Chinese medicine is the original functional medicine. Here, I think
That's the
having
question.
the "we believe" doesn't help. Yes.
Okay. So traditional Chinese medicine is my professional training and licensure. Do you have any limbic options for how to relanguage that, but still stay to my profession?
Well, my initial hit on that is I think it's important to use the phrase traditional Chinese medicine, but I think you surround it by limbic messages that acknowledge the ancient nature of it, the time-proven efficacy of it, the the primitive value of it in its simplicity. I mean, like, you can surround those with emotional concepts
Okay.
that accompany traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay.
Because it's for certain, I mean, like, of course, given my background, for certain, it's an advantage that you shouldn't like not have on there, in my belief.
Thank you.
So in all of this copy throughout, notice that it is informational, but it could be written to the prospect. In other words, every one of these, here, I'm just gonna pop over for 1 second. Stop. You guys seeing ChatGPT? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Going to Ridgely's prompts. 1 second, going to my library, and I'm going to go to partner-centric content. 1 sec. And grab this.
Nice.
So, and I'm going to pop that into ChatGPT. Right, 1 second here. I've got too many things blocking my view. Okay, cool. Here, I'm going to say, let's keep going. Review the cut this out. Really good work. Now review the copy below. Cut this. And ensure it's focused on, look at that, ensure. I'm the one that hates the word and I use it. Okay, great, Ridge. Really good, man. And then I'm going to pop in some of this content from the site. So let's just grab this first one. And I'm going to rewrite that using the prompt. And let's see what it comes up with as a difference. There we go.
I just want to say too that this is one of the most powerful prompts you can use for your marketing rewriting. I use it all the time with my clients.
So
Good to see you.
So it says here, you deserve a healthy digestive system and a body free from toxins. Now we change the language to you language. We conduct comprehensive of your gut health, analyze your stool, evaluate your liver function, etc. In the treatment, we personalize treatment plan just for you. This may include restoring your gut, enhancing your body's natural toxification. We guide you on maintaining a healthy diet, etc., to support your optimal digestion and detoxification. Now it's written to the person reading it, as opposed to being strictly informational. See that? This is a substantial, and this literally applies everywhere throughout the site, to the point where even if I go to, that's one of my favorite examples to do, even if I go to about, and it says meet your guide, we can do that same thing with this content, even about Susanna. So let me just put that pop that into chat. You'll see. 1 sec. Great. Now do the same thing for this copy. Notice how big a difference this is. It started out as me too. So the way we had it before, it's Susanna began her training all about Susanna in her teens after receiving She taught ecology, all about her. She continued your study nutrition, all about her. She's been a nationally certified, all about her. And here's the thing that I want to say gently and kindly, but truthfully, and that is nobody cares. All they care about is what you can do for them. So listen to how it sounds now. Meet Susanna, your guide to holistic health. When you choose Susanna, you're benefiting from a lifetime dedicated to natural medicine, etc. See how it just changes everything to frame it about the prospect and the client, so that then they want to know more about, oh, I'd like to know more about my choice, the choice that I'm making, right? And how I'm going to benefit from this lifetime dedication. So really important to use the you language, speak to people. It's going to be a lot more powerful that way. All
Thank
right.
you.
You're, of course, so welcome. This is great. Looking around here. So you can have some fun with all of that and do what we just talked about, literally everywhere. It will upgrade the site to make it sound like everything in the site is about the client or the prospect.
And Ridgely, can't you do that whole website in the prompt? Can we rewrite the whole website as partner-centric copy?
You could. I personally would take it one piece at a time because every piece is really important. And after you run the prompt, like for example, if I go back to chat here for a second, you could do that. I would tweak this to make sure it still sounds like you, Susanna, right? In other words, it's still about you. So it needs to sound like you. It needs to feel right for you. So I would put your personal touch on. This is the way that I use AI always. I use AI to give me a baseline and then massage it and play with it to make it feel real and authentic. Cool?
Awesome. That was great feedback. Thank you.
Well, you're so welcome. We look forward to seeing the next version. Let us know when you're ready.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bridget, you have a question for us, I understand.
Yeah, I'm really been working a lot on my target client, like going really niche down to a very particular client. We're talking like C-suite executives who, need help with that high level slide design. And so I got a bunch of information from ChatGPT this morning about, what are their pain points? When would they need slides? What, like quarterly meetings, this and that. It was great information. The question I had was, is there a way that ChatGPT can identify who to reach out to? Like actual companies.
Hubert, what's your take on that?
So you mean to the level of, you're not talking about generally, you're talking about like specifically?
Well, I mean, can ChatGPT access LinkedIn posts and blogs and what people say? And can they say, okay, this company has been talking about slides and the problems they're having with it or something like that?
So I'd have to play around. I wouldn't be surprised if you could find that kind of stuff, because ChatGPT and the other AIs get into places they're not supposed to get into.
Right.
It may very well have that information. I'm not sure if you know what, Bridget, we're in connection every day. So let me run some tests on my end and let me share with you. I have a Perplexity Pro account. My tendency is to see what it can do as well, and I'll let you know. But that's a good one. This leads to the larger issue of like distributed intelligence research, like what the spy community used to do in terms of needing human assets to be in different places. As you all know, like the military now has AI driven software that can do way more spying than any human can do. So you're starting to get into that area. And so for sure, to answer your question, and now I'm putting this whole thing on the radar, for sure the NSA can do what you're talking about currently now. The question is, can you and I do that now with the publicly available tools? I suspect the answer is yes, but you and I will take that offline.
Well, and there's other websites, I can't think of them right now, that people will post and they show up in Perplexity. It was like, people have been talking about this.
Correct.
And so just formulating questions and that using Perplexity. I just want to share one more thing. This morning, I was able to get ChatGPT on my iPad and have a conversation with them. I don't know if people have used that yet, but there's a button where you can press and you ask the questions and then it'll read the answer to you. So when you're in the bath or something, you can't really be touching your iPad, but having that conversation and getting the answers formulates other questions that I can ask. So then I can ask another question. I mean, for an hour, I got so much information about this type of thing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I never thought I would enjoy this feature, but I want to point out some positives about the following feature and tell you why it's impacting me the way it is. So, as a 4.0, ChatGPT's phone and whatever app has that, speak to ChatGPT feature. Okay, and that voice thing. So it goes beyond just like reading the stuff, as Bridget's saying. You can actually go back and forth with it. Okay. And I thought when that came out, like, oh, I'm so quick at typing the things using the prompts, like to me there would be no value. There's huge value in the way that I prompt. Okay. 4.0 in that interface with the AI through voice lets you interrupt. Okay. So as it starts going, it says you can just interrupt. So right away I'll say, no, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Or tell me, and I'll ask a question. I'm finding that in this voice-driven experience, my prompting is more freewheeling and instantly back and forth and modifying it. And the routes that I can explore actually go much faster when I do it by voice. And it's because it's like two people interrupting each other and debating, and the interactivity there I'm benefiting from. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like you get these intelligent answers or prompting more questions, like you're speaking with someone that, has a level of intelligence like you have or even better. And so I feel like I'm smarter when I get to talk with them.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I did want to point out, I know there's some questions, there's a lot of stuff going on in the chat, and some of it's coming offline as well. One thing you can absolutely do with AI is you can do research on a company, have AI write a needs assessment, a SWOT analysis, an executive summary on any company that you're going to meet with. You can find out what their needs are before they might even be aware of them, and walk into any kind of a prospecting or sales meeting with massive information about that company that you're going to meet with. And I highly recommend that. It's just such a good thing to do. When you walk into a meeting and you know as much, maybe even a little more than the person you're meeting with about their own company, how can they not be impressed with who you are and what you stand for and what you bring to them? So,
yep. So I'm sorry, some people have to jump off because we're coming up on the hour. So Ridgely, do your plug, invite people for a free call with you, please.
Yeah. If you guys think that might be of value to you to join our mastermind, please click the link, hop on the phone with me. I love talking to people about their business. It's fun, and we do vet everybody. So that's it. End of plug. Bill, you got something for us?
Hey, Bill, good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Bridget, you better watch out. The next enhancement that they're going to come up with is that they're going to be able to see you in the shower.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a voyeur then, or they're a voyeur.
Bill, they have to pay extra for that.
Oh, okay. So Rich, I've come to the conclusion that I have to really kind of hone in on just one aspect of my business. I'm a management trainer, coach, all that stuff. So I've recently been reading The Everything War. I don't know if you've seen that about Amazon. And how they create their business. Yeah. Anyway, so the one point that stuck out for me was the marketplace piece, because that's when they really started to be very, very successful. So what I wanted to do is focus in on starting a problem solving, you'll like this, a problem solving collaborative marketplace. And so what I did was I went into AI and I started asking them questions. And they said, so who's going to be your target audience? And so the other thing I decided is I want to work with nonprofits. I want to feel good about the customers that I'm working with. You know, I worked with nonprofits in running the volunteer center for many years, and I like that the most. That's the thing I feel good about. Not that I'm not going to work with for-profit companies, but I want to focus on my marketplace for nonprofits. So I don't know if it would be beneficial for me to show you on my page what came out of the sessions I did with ChatGPT, or
Yeah,
if you
sure.
talk to it.
Sure.
Okay. So let me do that. I can share my screen with you. Is this the one? Yep, that's it. So what do I do? Just share the screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you can see that, I take it. So I looked at what are the existential problems that nonprofits would have. And so this came up, and so then, you know, I also did a piece on Perplexity, where I checked with them too, and they had the same thing. And it's no surprise, funding is the thing, right? Funding, donor dependence, grant competition. So with those things in mind, I said I'm going to focus on those basic ones. I'm sorry, this is the wrong thing, so I'm going to have to just
Okay.
go with
Which
this.
makes sense. I mean, obviously, it would make sense that you're going to get from two different sources on AI, largely similar output if the input and the request is the same. They're not going to be identical per se. And obviously, we can do some AI linking and prompt linking, et cetera. But you should get, it would make sense that you would logically get a number of the same pieces of output for sure.
Right. Okay, so here it is. Okay. Whoop. I just clicked OK. How come it's not working? Let's try it again. Nothing simple, right? So do you see that, or you don't see that? I'm sure.
Not yet.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. There we are. So again, set it up with these things, the collaborative marketplace. I picked those things out. Here was the original thing of what they wanted me to look at. Let me just be able to go through this. Okay, so based on, again, these are the questions that I was asking ChatGPT. Based on the search results and my knowledge, here are the top essential existential problems. So again, you'll see those first two are from ChatGPT. Those next three are from Perplexity. So again, you're going to see the same ones, right? Basically.
Yep.
But then I said, setting up this collaboration marketplace for nonprofits involves what? Several key elements. So then they gave me these key elements. And then I drilled down even further and I said, could you please give me examples of what might be possible elements for each of the 12 critical components? So then they broke that down, which was great. So now I got that. And then I asked, so focusing on the on those funding instability, and those are the three things that ChatGPT had given me. I asked them, if I could get my clicker to come over here. I asked them to, what are the best options I could offer in the problem-solving marketplace? And again, they gave me some really great stuff, right? And then I went one step further, and I said, now, can you give me some effective marketing messages that I might use in promoting it? So again, they gave me some really great stuff. So I guess my question is, what else could I be using ChatGPT for in getting information to set up my my marketplace?
So I would take a slightly different approach. This is more of an add-on to what you've already done, which is I would try to find, using both your own knowledge and heart space and what's available out there as a tool, to figure out what is the thing that they most want. And what of the things that they most want do you personally feel passionate about? So I would really want to hone in on, if there's a number one for nonprofits, what's the number one issue that they face? What is it? Is it not enough money? Is it donor dependence? Is it whatever? And then if there's some aspect of that that Bill Straubinger can bring to the table to help solve that problem and go deep, I think it's a lot easier to create something that has appeal and merit to a group like the nonprofit organizations, if you go deep on it. Because trying to be a lot, one of the feelings that I had in looking at that material is it was so voluminous. There's so much stuff there, but to get clear and be able to sell something, it's like you got to drill down to what is the thing that they really want, that you also are passionate about being able to deliver.
Right.
When we deal with, as many people know, we have a number of dental clients, and people say, what do you do? I say, we take elite dental offices to the top of the search engines in their local markets so that they get all of the best prospects for their business. And, oh, really? How do you do that? That sounds really interesting. And that's all we do. And I don't have to go any further. The explanation is literally one sentence, about 10 seconds. And somebody knows exactly what we do. And so trying to get that specificity around your offer is something that I think would really help. Hubert?
You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so yes, I agree with everything that Ridgely said, and then I want to add the following. Okay, so Bill, the prompts that you generated to get all of that great stuff. Okay, so you have that around. What I want you to do is, if is it in one session or multiple sessions?
I always went back to the original session and just added on.
Okay. So what you could do, and I'm not sure if it'll work as the way I'm suggesting, so you might be better off running a brand new session. And the reason why I'm saying this is start a new session and saying, do you usually act as blah, 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 whatever that's set up. Then you say, I forget your URL. Remember you showed us the URL of your website that you were redoing?
Right.
If those services represent the services that you're offering to the nonprofits, okay?
No, it doesn't. This is going to be a new kind of page, if you will.
Okay, but none of those awesome services are being offered to the...
Well, they are, but kind of in a different way, training. So...
Okay, because what I was getting at is, you can say in your prompt, visit www.whatever, and in light of that, answer the following whatever. And what ChatGPT 4.0 is going to do is it'll go and consume your thing first. Then in light of that, it will then give you your answers.
Okay.
That's actually what the PAF brain is doing, and that's why you actually type in your URL. So the other thing you can do is also run those queries in PAF brain after loading that URL in there. And it's okay that the services don't match exactly. It's getting the flavor of how you do the things that you do. So that's my suggestion to you there.
Great. Thanks.
Now, I just also want to take this time, since it's topically related. I just want to address live the question that Matt had dropped in the Q&A. Matt has said, how can we make the process so much quicker to get the chat primed for the best output, right? So I answered Matt asking if he means that he runs similar prompts and each time he has to go through the same priming. Act as this, you have years of that experience, You're going to give me this, that, and the other thing. Take a look at this body of copy and emulate the same tone. If that setup is the same basically each time. So Bridget, you know where I'm going to go with this. Set up a custom GPT, load all of that up into a custom GPT, and now this is where you need, ChatGPT plus and so forth. But save all of that as a custom GPT, and when you run it for the new case, like, obviously Bridget and us, we do a lot of agency work where we're basically doing the same kind of workflow over and over and over again. So to, shorten the time for the setup, we would create a custom GPT. So I just wanted to mention that. So in your case too, Bill, if you're going to do a lot of exploration of this, instead of having to say the same things over and over again to catch GPT back up to where you were, you can create a custom GPT. I don't know if you've tried that yet. And if not, we can coach you through that next time.
Great.
All right.
And I'll let you know how far I get along. Thanks for the advice.
And Bill, make sure to look through the chat because Matt just dropped a very thoughtful comment that will be helpful to you there as well.
Great.
All right, Hubert, go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
What do you got for me?
Oh, is it time?
It's time. And I will let everybody know next week. We will be meeting. Let me just get this straight at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So it'll be a nice time for people in Europe. 4 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday, the last day of July. That will be the 31st, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. And I'll let you guys end on this note from Hubert.
Okay, this is excellent. So Ridgely was talking about hurricane season coming up and so forth. So that'll be the theme of this thing. So since you two are on here, Bridget and Bill, you guys can be part of this. So Bridget, what happens when it rains cats and dogs? What happens when it rains cats and dogs? You're still muted.
Still muted. You have to unmute yourself, okay?
I thought I did, and then he muted me again. So the pet owners rejoice.
Pet owners rejoice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens when it rains cats and dogs? You have to be careful not to step in a poodle. All right. So Bill, what does a cloud wear under its raincoat?
What does a cloud wear?
What does a cloud wear under its raincoat?
You got me.
Thunderwear.
Oh, it's terrible.
We have one for you too, originally. What did one lightning bolt say to the other lightning bolt?
What?
You're shocking.
That's it. You guys have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy it. Federico, if you can join me in my Zoom room, that would be awesome. Hubert, if you want to join us too, that'd be cool.
I actually have to jump, but I will be available on my cell. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.